Volume 1, Book 3, Number 75. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Once the Prophet embraced me and said, "O Allah, bestow on him the knowledge of the book, Quran." Volume 1, Book 3, Number 76. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Once I came riding a she-ass and had just attained the age of puberty. Allah's apostle was offering the prayer at Mina. There was no wall in front of him, and I passed in front of some of the row while they were offering their prayers. There I let the she-ass loose to graze and entered the row, and nobody objected to it. Volume 1, Book 3, Number 77. Narrated by Mahmud bin Rabi'a. When I was a boy of 5, I remember, the Prophet took water from a bucket, used far getting water out of a well, with his mouth and threw it on my face. Volume 1, Book 3, Number 78. Narrated by Ibn Abbas, that he differed with Herb bin Kaid bin Hizan al-Fazari regarding the companion of the Prophet Moses. Meanwhile, Ubay bin Kabi passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, "My friend, her, and I have differed regarding Moses' companion, whom Moses asked the way to meet. Have you heard Allah's apostle mentioning something about him?" Ubay bin Kabi said, "Yes, I heard the Prophet mentioning something about him, saying, while Moses was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, 'Do you know anyone who is more learned than you?' Moses replied, 'No.' So Allah sent the divine inspiration to Moses, 'Yes, our slave Qadir is more learned than you.' Moses asked Allah how to meet him, Al-Qadir. So Allah made the fish a sign for him, and he was told when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him, Al-Qadir. So Moses went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The servant boy of Moses said, 'Do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish, none but Satan made me forget to remember it.' On that Moses said, 'That is what we have been seeking.' So they went back retracing their footsteps, and found Qadir. And what happened further about them is narrated in the Holy Quran by Allah. 18.54 up to 18.82. Volume 1, Book 3, Number 79. Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet said, "The example of guidance and knowledge with which Allah has sent me is like abundant rain falling on the earth, some of which was fertile soil that absorbed rainwater and brought forth vegetation and grass in abundance. And another portion of it was hard and held the rainwater, and Allah benefited the people with it, and they utilized it for drinking, making their animals drink from it, and for irrigation of the land for cultivation. And a portion of it was barren, which could neither hold the water nor bring forth vegetation, then that land gave no benefits. The first is the example of the person who comprehends Allah's religion and gets benefit from the knowledge which Allah has revealed through me, the prophets, and learns and then teaches others. The last example is that of a person who does not care for it and does not take Allah's guidance revealed through me. He is like that barren land." Volume 1, Book 3, Number 80. Narrated by Anas. Allah's apostle said, "From among the portents of the hour, the following. 1. Religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of religious learned men. 2. Religious ignorance will prevail. 3. Drinking of alcoholic drinks will be very common. 4. There will be prevalence of open illegal sexual intercourse." Volume 1, Book 3, Number 81. Narrated by Anas. I will narrate to you a hadith, and none other than I will tell you about after it. I heard Allah's apostle saying, "From among the portents of the hour, the following. 1. Religious knowledge will decrease by the death of religious learned men. 2. Religious ignorance will prevail. 3. There will be prevalence of open illegal sexual intercourse. 4. Women will increase in number and men will decrease in number, so much so that 50 women will be looked after by one man." Volume 1, Book 3, Number 82. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's apostle said, "While I was sleeping, I saw that a cup full of milk was brought to me, and I drank my fill till I noticed the milk, its wetness coming out of my nails. Then I gave the remaining milk to Umar ibn al-Khattab." The companions of the Prophet asked, "What have you interpreted about this dream, O Allah's apostle?" He replied, "It is religious knowledge." Volume 1, Book 3, number 83. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As. Allah's apostle stopped for a while near the Jama'ah at Mina during his last Hajj for the people, and they were asking him questions. A man came and said, "I forgot and got my head shaved before slaughtering the hadi, sacrificing animal." The Prophet said, "There is no harm, go and do the slaughtering now." Then another person came and said, "I forgot and slaughtered the camel before Rami, throwing of the pebbles, at the Jamrah." The Prophet said, "Do the Rami now and there is no harm." The narrator added, "So on that day, when the Prophet was asked about anything, as regards the ceremonies of Hajj, performed before or after its due time, his reply was, 'Do it now, and there is no harm.'" Volume 1, Book 3, number 84. Narrated by Ibn Abbas, somebody said to the Prophet, during his last Hajj, "I did the slaughtering before doing the Rami." The Prophet beckoned with his hand and said, "There is no harm in that." Then another person said, "I got my head shaved before offering the sacrifice." The Prophet beckoned with his hand saying, "There is no harm in that." Volume 1, Book 3, number 85. Narrated by Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, "Religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of religious scholars, ignorance in religion, and afflictions will appear, and Hajj will increase." It was asked, "What is Hajj, O Allah's apostle?" He replied by beckoning with his hand indicating killing. Fatah al-Bari, page 192, Volume 1.